Hey everybody, we are on day 4 of our 28-day prayer fast. Today we are talking about appearances and how they divide us. And also we're going to talk about how we can look past appearances and look into the heart of people instead. So today I'm going to start off with the story of Samuel, where Samuel had to go and anoint and appoint the future king, and God told him to go to Jesse, and one of his sons was going to be that person. So if you're not aware of that story, I would ask that you go into 1 Samuel and just look it up for yourself so that you could see the context of what's going on. Basically, I'll give you the short rundown of what happened. Samuel went to Jesse's house, and each one of his sons, Samuel was looking at his sons with his own eyes, saying, surely this is the one, surely, because he looks like he would fit that part of what a king should look like. And he kept going through each son, and God kept saying, nope, that's not him. That's not him. That's not him. Okay? And so what Samuel was doing, he was just looking on the outside with his own eyes on what he thought, he categorized what a king should look like, right? So we do this kind of thing today. We look at someone and we say, by the clothes that they're wearing, we put them in an automatic category, right? And by doing that, sometimes you are actually passing people by and not allowing them to be what God created them to be, because you're using your own judgment, your eyes judgment on what that person is. You're placing them in that category, and once you place somebody in a category, usually it's kind of hard to take them out of that category. So if we could just kind of get past that first initial placing someone in a category, then I'm telling you, it would be so much easier for people to be able to flow into what God has called them to do. So back to 1 Samuel chapter 16. I'm reading out of the Amplified Version, and we're going to start and end at verse 7. And this is at the moment where Samuel is looking again at the sons of Jesse, and God is telling him, no, not that one. Okay, so he says, God says to Samuel, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or at the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So this son, Eliab, which was the son that he was talking to Samuel about, he looked the part. He was very good looking. He looked like he could be the king on the outside view, okay? But Eliab's heart must not have been where it needed to be a king that God was trying to anoint, okay? So Samuel had to continue going through the sons, and he finally got to David. And when Samuel saw David, everyone was like, no, not David. Surely it's not David. David, no, he's that one that everybody looks over. No, not him. There's no way that God would call that one, okay? How many times do we do that? How many times do we say, there is no way that Tina Daniels could be used by God? No way at all. I do it for myself sometimes. I'm like, there's no way, God. But when God anoints and appoints you, it's all about where your heart is at, okay? God lifted me up out of some crazy mess, and he lifted a lot of you up out of some crazy mess. Some of the stuff that we put ourselves in, and God still lifted us up out of it. That's because he anointed and appointed you for a reason and a season. So continue to work in the word. Continue to get your heart right. Because as long as your heart is right, and as long as your heart is where it needs to be with God, you're going to be used. Okay? Side note, sorry, got a little off topic there. But I just want you to understand that is so important, to get your heart where it needs to be for God. Okay? And from that story, I also found, after that story, I also found Matthew 7, 1 through 2. And I'm reading this one out of the New King James Version. And it's actually Jesus speaking. And he is telling people not to judge other people, okay? So he says, "Judge not, that you be not judged. For with what judgment you judge, you will also be judged. And with the measure you use it, it will be measured back to you." Basically, we should not be going around judging people, because that's not our job, okay? Our job is to be like Christ. Our job is to love, love, love. Not only is that being like Christ, that's also being like God. Love, love, love. God is love. Jesus is love, okay? This is a tough subject because there are a lot of people that stand firm on their opinions, okay? I'm not telling you that your opinion is completely wrong on what you wear. What I am telling you is that if you're going around judging someone about what they are wearing, then you also will be judged in that same way, okay? So it's important to remember this, guys. Remember that we do not go around judging people on what they wear. Please understand that, because it's sad to me when someone that has not been to church walks in the door wearing whatever they normally wear on a regular day basis, whether they can afford anything else or not, whether that's what they choose to wear or not. It saddens me when they walk away from the church house because someone told them, "You shouldn't be wearing that to church." That really saddens me. It breaks my heart. There are so many people that are out there that want to go to church. They want to go to a church house to fellowship, to learn more, to get deeper in their relationship with Christ. But their number one reason for not going is because they don't have church clothes. That breaks my heart. That should not be something that divides us, guys. That should not be something that we have a say-so on. Now, I'm not saying that we do not teach people modesty. I'm not saying that, okay? I think it's very important that we should be modest. I do. But it's not our job to condemn them. It is our job to help them grow. You cannot help someone grow by constantly telling them, no, 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 you can't do this, you can't do that, no, no, no. I can't teach my toddlers anything that way. Nothing. They would look at me like, well, what can I do? What am I able to do? You told me no on everything that I wanted to do. So I don't understand, what am I supposed to do? And usually if I do tell them no, 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 they just sit there and look at me because they're just like, you just told me no on everything I want to do. It freezes them. And then it makes them go into a little shell. And they don't even want to talk about it. Okay? So we can't go around doing that to people, guys. All right. Then, from there, Matthew 13, verses 54 through 58. All right. Now this one, I'm going to need some help with. So this one it really hit home for me, because when I was given this verse, I was like, whoa, okay? I've heard this verse so many times, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this verse, and it never really hit me in this manner. For these verses. This is Jesus being denied, okay? When he had come to his own country, he taught them in the synagogue, so that they were astonished and said, "Where did this man get this wisdom and these mighty works? Is this not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother Mary? And his brothers are just James, Simon, and Judas? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Where did this man get all of these things?" So they were offended at him, at Jesus himself. They were offended. But Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor, except in his own country and his own house." Now he did not do many works there because of their unbelief. These people that were at the synagogue, at the church house, okay, denied Jesus himself because they placed him in a category. They could have gotten so much freedom and healing, but they denied Jesus. They denied who he was because they thought they knew who he was. Just the carpenter's son. Right? How many times have we denied someone because we have thought we knew who they were? How many times have you met someone that you knew in your past that has changed their life around for so much better, and you kept them in their past? Do you know that you also passed away your blessings from that person because you could get healing, restoration, forgiveness? You could get so much from those people that you are just passing away, denying them and telling them, "You're just so-and-so. You can't do that. Who are you?" You're denying them the opportunity to show you Jesus, and you're denying yourself to get a blessing from that person. Guys, it's so important that we do not put people into a category and say, "That's just so-and-so," because so-and-so could really be doing a mighty work for God. But do you know it? Because you're just letting them be who they used to be. And how would it make you feel if it was flip-flopped and you had worked so hard through God to get changed, to change your heart and to change your life around? I'm getting a little emotional because this is me. So many times people keep you in your past, and it is so difficult when that flip-flop is on you and you're the person that people deny, and you are that person that people say, "Do you know what she used to do? Do you know what he used to do?" You're denying yourself a blessing from denying who they used to be into changing. God is a miracle worker. He can do so much through so little. And I'm telling you, you do not want to miss those blessings. You do not want to miss the opportunity for God to speak through someone else to you. So, let's stop with the categories. Let's stop with placing people into a certain category and letting their appearance tell you who they are. Because I'm going to tell you, I have met some amazing people, some people who knew more than I could ever imagine about who Jesus himself is, who God is, what the Word says. But they didn't look the part. They didn't look on the outside like they would even know who Jesus is. but they were so much more knowledgeable than I could ever imagine to be. They taught me so much, showed me literally what it meant to be forgiven. Don't pass people by just because of the way they look. I'm telling you, you don't want to do that, guys. You're denying yourself and you're denying God. And you don't want to be these people in Matthew 13. I'm telling you guys, you don't want to. He was unable to do many works. That means many people went without healing, restoration, forgiveness. And we need it. We need it. So, I'm just going to pray. God, Father, thank you for using us. Thank you for not judging us on our outside appearance, but knowing who we are in our hearts. Not only that, but you actually use us because of our hearts. Because we know that when our hearts are faced towards you, focused all on you, that you are able to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we could ever imagine. So, Father, I just ask that you please teach us not to look on the outward appearance of people, not to look at people because of their age, their gender, their race, the clothes that they wear, based on anything other than their heart and where their heart is. God, I thank you for the works that you're going to do. I thank you in advance. I thank you in advance for changing our minds. God, let us think more like you. Let us speak more like you. Let us hear things more like you. And Father, please do not allow us to be the ones that pass people by and deny them just because of their appearances. Teach us how to love like you love. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, guys. Tomorrow is day 5. I don't know about you, but this is doing some amazing stuff for me personally. And I just pray that it's doing some amazing things for you as well. Tomorrow's day 5. We're going to be speaking on respect and how respect divides us, and how a lack of respect divides us. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. Sleeping Giant, arise. Bye.